Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from the Financial Coffee Channel. Rent is too high. Modern women are complaining about high rent and rent increases. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time. I know this problem affects everyone, men and women, but men aren't out here complaining about it like women are.
Give me the tea. What's the drama? What's happening in your life? I want to know. I'm bored.
Rent for my New York City apartment went up by $1,000 a month.
Like, I'm really broke right now. Like, this is it.
Jeez.
There's one video of mine that needs to do well. It's this one. This is the first month I won't be able to afford rent. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have basic household necessities.
This shit does not look like basic household necessities. My room isn't a basic household necessity, even though I have all my equipment in here. Like, just most people have very frivolous stuff.
A couch, a bed, washer, a dryer. That's about it. A car. I don't have a lot of lavish things. I don't go on vacations, and I don't spend a lot.
Oh, is this
Rent's
a furnished
increased from
house?
$1,300 to $1,800. The food prices are too high. I've cut back on eating because I literally cannot afford food. I've cut back on my favorite snacks, cat food, treats. I'm exhausted
The cutting back on food thing, I don't think it was even that hard. I mentioned this before. I only eat once a day. And that one meal a day isn't that hard to maintain. And I get plenty of energy. I get to do whatever I want. I still work out. I take protein powder, but that's because I need the extra protein. So.
The time for being overworked and underpaid. You don't catch a break when you grow up poor. I don't need much to be happy. I just want to be able to live comfortable. I just really need to catch a break right now. I'm trying so hard and I feel like I'm not doing enough. I don't have family. I don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah, you're not doing enough, girl, because you can live with other people. You can literally reduce your rent by 1/3 by living with other people. Again, I live with my roommates. I pay $700 a month, boys. In California, in LA area. $700 a month. That is amazing rent. And guess what? I make over 6 figures now. I can go live somewhere else and, be on my own or whatever it is. But who the fuck cares? $700. I'm good with that.
I just need one video to blow up and it could be life-changing for me.
You know when you're just down really bad and then someone comes along and they're like, that's what my leasing office did today. My leasing office chose violence. I just got my lease renewal for next year. I live in Seaport in Boston, which is probably one of the nicest areas in Boston. I understand that. I live in a high rise. Yes, it's...
You hear them talk and they just telling themselves, oh yes, of course my rent's high because I live in the best neighborhood possible.
a luxury building, but it doesn't justify what they're asking for, in my opinion. I moved in 2021. It was $2,600. Still asinine. Ridiculous to pay that much amount of money for this tiny ass little studio apartment.
And then why did you?
450 square feet. Okay. Next year.
450 square feet for 2,600? What?
That I met all my friends. They're all in the same building. I'm like, okay, $2,900. That's what they raised it to. I was like, I can do this. I'm going to start dog sitting. So that's what I did. And I did it. I paid for it. Was I pretty house poor? Yeah. But I was meeting a ton of people and I was having the time of my life. I've had the time of my life in this building. The next year rolls around, $3,100. I'm like, I feel like a massive moron if I pay this, but my friends are here. I'm going to keep doing it. Really, really stupid decision to do that. Anyways, they just brought me my new lease. They want $3,444 a month for my 450 square foot studio. I did a quick little girl math on this one, and that means that I would basically be paying to stay in a $120 a night hotel every single night for the next year.
Pretty much.
I love Boston, but it's not New York. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, at that price, you could stay at a decent hotel for probably cheaper.
I just got done crying to my parents all week about how lost I am. I don't know what to do with my life. I know exactly what I want in life, but I'm having a really hard time like figuring out how to get there. I don't know if I need to stay in Boston, move. I just can't do it anymore. I don't know what my next move is. I'm at this crossroads.
You know, there's one thing I've noticed is there's less Asians doing these types of videos because Asians really stay with the family. At least the non-modern feminist women type. You know, they'll live with the family for a long period of time. So they don't deal with all of this extra stress of rent and all this because their family still takes care of them, which is perfectly fine. None of us men are going to look at a woman that still lives with her parents at 26 so she can save money and they take care of her. Why would I be upset at that?
Roads basically in my life where I'm like, do I move home and really try to help build out my parents' company that my brother works for? And it's like, it would be incredible to be back with them. Do I move to New York and try to get a job with a big brand? Do I move to Chicago or Charleston or Austin, much more affordable cities where I can afford to actually take a stab at still owning my own business and giving that a try? Boston's just cooking me. The darkness for 4 months of the year, but at the same time, I've never been more in love with a city in my life. Like, it's incredible. The summers make me never want to leave. Just at such a weird position in my life. I know I'm always so positive, but damn, 28's a weird age. And also the fact there's no jobs that will pay enough for like 28-year-olds to go live alone. Like, anyways.
And maybe don't live alone. just a suggestion.
Happy weekend.
The rent is too damn high. The rent is too damn high. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But I don't trust any woman that record herself crying and then post it on social media.
Yep.
She's playing the victim Olympics and she's trying to manipulate people into having sympathy for her. I don't.
Dude, he's right, because how many simps would watch this, hearing her struggle about her rent and all this shit, and start sending her fucking money on her Cash App? How many simps? Probably shitloads.
Don't buy that at all. It's not genuine at all. Because first off, she has to think about what she's about to say and make herself look as if she's crying. Then she has to set up her camera, the lighting, and hit record. She also has to rewatch the video, edit the video, think about the title and the thumbnail, then post it. So it's not spontaneous at all. At least, it's not as spontaneous as when you are genuinely crying out of pain. I mean, come on, man. I have not seen any real tears rolling down her eyes. Have you seen any tears?
Nope.
From her eyes?
Hell no.
That being said, the rent is too damn high. I mean, Jesus Christ. We are talking about $3,400 a month.
That is crazy
for a 450 square feet studio, not apartment, but studio in some places.
I agree.
Lord has mercy on us. At this price, she's better off living in a nice Airbnb apartment, paying $120 per night.
There's actually you could probably afford that in a nice Airbnb apartment. It wouldn't even be an apartment. It could be a house that is probably around that much too in certain areas.
It's crazy, man. She could actually get a decent hotel room for that price.
I just know I cannot be the only person that after I pay my rent, like, because I wait to the very last minute. I'm going to pay on the 5th at 11:59 to be exact, just in case anything changed. But after I pay my rent, I need like 48 to 72 hours before I'm bothered, because I'm instantly irritated. As soon as I press make payment, I'm irritated. Yes, I'm irritated.
It really just occurred to me that I'm like broke. Like I cannot be spending $200 at the nail salon no more.
No fucking shit.
Like I cannot be buying $400 wigs. Like I cannot be getting eyelash extensions and eyebrow tints. Like I'm just really broke right now. Like this is it.
Ooh.
And as if rent wasn't already high enough, in some places, landlords are raising the rent by $1,000 per month. Yes, you heard
I
that
don't even know how they're allowed to fucking raise $1,000 per month. That's fucking crazy.
right. The rent is going up by more than $1,000 per month in some places.
Give me the tea. What's the drama? What's happening in your life? I want to know. I'm bored.
Rent for my New York City apartment went up by $1,000 a month. That's what's going on over here. Then came the second rent renewal. So now we're 2.5 years in. So the first lease was 18 months. The second lease was a year. So we're about 2.5 years in. And this rent renewal, they said, hey, your rent is going to go up by $1,000 a month. And they told me this 45 days before the rent was supposed to be renewed, while I was asking them for months and months before. We could get into that if we need to. But long story short, they gave me the new rent amount, and I'm just like, can we negotiate? So this was a 37% increase. I reached out to them saying, hey, can we negotiate?
That's ridiculous. 33%. Again, we do make fun of women, making these TikToks and stuff like that. But doesn't mean some of the things that they're outraged about isn't quite outrageous.
How about a 10% increase? They're like, no. And no. But this whole process has just been so ghetto to understand and see what has happened in the New York City housing market and how that it is legal. It is 100% legal for them to raise my rent by $1,000 a month.
That's crazy.
With that 45-day warning period, yes. Actually, they could have given me less warning than that. According to the legal representatives that I spoke to, they could have given me less warning than that. It did not matter.
Our landlord wants us to move because he found somebody that's willing to pay $3,000 a month in rent. When we first moved here, our rent was $1,900, and there has been no updates to this house since we moved here. No new refrigerator, no new stove, nothing new to this house, but he can command $3,000 because of how the market is now. And so we're forced to move because he wants to get that for rent.
So, see, people act like this, right? And, feel entitled because you live there. But if you were the other person, if you're losing $1,000 a month on a property that you could be gaining more, would you not do it? It's money into your family's pockets. Yes, it sucks for the family that you're kicking out, but people care about them and their own more than they care about random strangers.
Yes, and now we're trying to get into a market where all the rents have exploded, and it's because of what?
BlackRock.
Yeah.
Don't move to the south because you think rent is cheaper. First of all, it's not that cheap. In Nashville, Tennessee, for example, a decent apartment will cost you around $2,000. Yes, $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Nashville, Tennessee. Not only that.
What, in Nashville too? It's $2,000? I live the outskirts of LA in Southern California. My friend just rented like a couple years ago a new apartment. Not new, but he moved to a different apartment, and it was $1,850. Damn, Tennessee is even more expensive? That's crazy.
But company will pay you less than what you are making in LA or in New York. They justify it by saying life is cheaper in the South. So why pay you as much as they would in New York or in LA? So keep that in mind before you try to move to the South.
Let me tell y'all something. If you were thinking about coming to the South to escape insane rental prices, you'd be wrong. You would be absolutely wrong, because they're going to pay you less down here. They're going to pay you less, and your rent is going to be $2,000.
That's crazy.
You can't even find an apartment for less than $2,000 uptown.
See, I think it's because of this whole uptown thing. I don't live in the most greatest of neighborhoods. It's an okay neighborhood. It's a little ghetto. Shit happens here still. But I can afford it. I like it here enough. It's $700. I'm okay with that.
My apartment complex is charging $1,700 for a studio. No door. You are paying $1,700 for a studio, no door. My apartment complex for a 1-bedroom right now, $2,000. Easy. $2,000 easy. So what do you think a 2-bedroom is?
Shit, $2,500, $2,600.
Don't come down here.
But when I tell you she hit the nail on the head, she hit the nail on the head, because people think going south is going to be cheaper. No, ma'am. And what behooved me was talking to someone in Atlanta once about the whole cost of living there and the lack of pay. And they're like, well, of course it would be a lack of pay because it's the cost of living in the South is low. Where, sir? I was like, what? Mind you, this was an older gentleman telling me cost of living here is cheap. I bought my house. You bought your house when, sir? When? Because not in the millennium or the latest 2000. And no, the North is not cheaper, but the jobs do pay you more. Georgia minimum wage was like $7.
Whew, that was an expensive chow. It sucks. A lot of these women wanted to be strong and independent. And when they got out there with $1,800, $2,000, $2,600, $3,000 rent, being strong and independent isn't so what it cracked up to be, is it, ladies? Please explore them below. I really appreciate that, and catch you guys. Ciao.